Happy Christmas Eve, McGray, and welcome back to Savannah's Crystal Reiki Healing. I'm Erin, and I've got a couple of readings for you, and a wee bit of a treat too. So, let's just go ahead and say I've got two forms of readings for you today. I've got the numerology of the tarot, which is in the journey of the fool. Because as we go throughout our lives, reaching and grasping as we do, we're all fools to some degree or another in our lives. Just don't tell the ego that I told you that. And then the second reading that I've got is the traits. Because I've got a full Celtic cross reading for you. I was asking some friends what I should do a reading on. It is Christmas Eve. It is Christmas Day tomorrow. And in a week or so, we've got New Year's Eve. So what does the new year bring? What is in store for us in the days ahead? That's what we're hoping to figure out. I am using my Diablo deck. The Diablo deck is perhaps the darkest deck that I own, and I'm all right with it because I do enjoy looking at myself in a mirror and having a reading that does not care about my feelings. It'll just tell me what lies under the surface. And I hope that's what you get from this too. So I'm hoping that it's not too dark for us today. So be brave. Be brave as we peer into the depths of our own shadows and see what dwells down there. Have you had your water today? Have you had any food? Are you at least taking care of yourself today? And I ask this because as we go out there and we party with our friends and our family for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, they're out there to take care of ourselves, us, as we're out there to take care of them. If we are pushing ourselves beyond our means to the point that we collapse, absolutely exhausted, into a puddle on the floor, we're no help to anyone. No help to our friends and family who we love dearly and belovedly. And we're no help to ourselves because we can't do anything. Our bodies just simply said, F you. So, be brave enough to see yourself as just as worthy as everyone else of your love, attention, and care. Because you are. And Mummy says it's alright. So get yourself a glass of water, get a bite of food into you, and be brave enough to take care of yourself today. Alright? As for the legals, this is all for entertainment purposes only. Today is the 24th of December. We're going to go ahead and put that number and all that right up there, to which we'll go ahead and break all this down, or we already have it broken down. Today's number is 8. 8. Or if you will, strength. What do you see when you think of the word strength? Is it Superman going out there and fighting the bad guys? I play around with a Diablo deck of tarot. Do you see all the people, all the characters in the game going out there and fighting demons, fighting monsters, going out there and accomplishing great deeds? Is that what strength means to you? As I look at this card, it certainly suggests strength. But in order to get the point across, you need a picture of a strong person. The classical version of a strength card has a lion and a woman. In Western culture and Western civilization, the woman is seen as fragile, along with this absolutely beastly lion. It's a frail woman with a beastly lion. So what does that have to say to you? Do you still think of yourself as strong enough to slay all the demons? Do you see yourself as strong enough to wrangle that lion or whatever other monster is out there in the world? Is that what you see? because that's not what it means. The strength card, regardless of which deck we're going off of, just simply means that today we're asking you to pay attention to your inner strength. Today is the day where you need to take a look at yourself and start working on yourself. Do what needs to be done to not exactly slay, but tame. But even at that, that's the wrong word. Work with your inner beasties, your inner demons, and your inner monsters. Because regardless of how you see them, and the subconscious mind is an interesting thing, these manifestations of demons, monsters, and beasties are still you. Are you strong enough to tame your own inner monsters, demons, and beasties? Because that is exactly what we're asking you to do today. So, are you strong enough? Moving on. We're going to go ahead and do our Celtic cross spread. So I'm going to explain this entire reading as we go along. There are 10 cards in total that I'm going to be working off of. It's divided into two halves. One focuses specifically on the situation you happen to find yourself in. The question that we asked is, what's in store for us in the days and the weeks and the months and the years ahead coming on? What's in store? What's coming for us? Good or ill? What is coming? So we've got that. We have our situation, and then we have our emotions. The situation that we happen to find ourselves in, our emotional, oh, what's the foreign word? You'll get there. So, motivations is the word. So, within the situation, which we're going to start with, I'm going to start with two cards. One, we're going to start with a single card. A single card represents you. You within this situation. Regardless of what the situation is, this is how you find yourself right now. The second card that I'm going to pull is going to cross that first card. This is going to represent what crosses us, what we find ourselves facing that may be a lesson that we need to learn, an obstacle to cross, or what have you. Just add a phrase here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with that. Our first card is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands, any knight in any of the suits, is at the beginning of a journey, is just embarking on this task, this journey, this road, this adventure, this insert word. Wands represent our ability to have desires, our wills, our intentions, our everything. Like, I want a sandwich. Well, what kind of sandwich do I want? So you're going through asking the questions. Well, I want a BLT on rye with mayonnaise, stone ground mustard, and just a wee bit of ketchup. Maybe just a scraping of it. And then the willpower to not just focus that intention, but to see it in your mind. Your focus and your intention, your will and your desire. So as we begin this adventure, we're excited for it. We know what we want to accomplish. We know how to get there. So we're excited to start this adventure and go off and do what we want. We have our senses of honor. We have our senses of valor firmly in place here as we go along. And we're excited to see what's going to come around. The next card is going to cross this one like this. If you are the Knight of Wands, you're crossed by the Nine of Swords reversed. So we're going to look like this. All right, the Nine of Swords reversed. Let me grab my notes. You are tortured. You are tortured. You are haunted. Something was said. Something was done. Something has upset you so much that you just can't take your mind away from it and look away. But you can't think about it because it tortures you. It tortures you and it keeps your mind spinning to the point that every now and then it actually keeps you awake at night. But you are tortured. Don't be afraid to reach out to family and friends or just simply talk it out with an AI. But get it out of your system. Write it down in a journal, talk to an AI, but keep that chat log, talk to a therapist, talk to your friends, talk to your family, or talk to an enemy. The idea is we're social beings, we're social creators. By talking it out, by having a different perspective on what tortures us, it's going to lessen the load, it's going to lessen the tension, and we're going to have an easier time of these things. So don't be afraid to talk it out. These things that you're facing are scary. Completely understand. But you're not alone here, and you never were. All right. That is these two cards. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put cards around it. 4 cards. We have the past, the present, our goals, and an outcome. The way that I like to start it is I like to start with our goals, our aims, our desires. Because at that point, once we have our goals and desires set, we can go ahead and fill the other 2 in, the past and present, to understand why the goal is important. So, what is our goal today? Our goal is the High Priestess reversed. Let go. Normally, the High Priestess is a woman who is in tune with herself, in tune with her community, in tune with nature and the cosmos. She understands her masculine and feminine sides. She understands her shadows as equally as she understands herself in the light. She understands the yin and the yang of herself. She understands the balance needed between herself and everything else out there in the cosmos. They're not two separate beings, separate and apart from each other. They're one and the same. She holds the secrets. She holds the mysteries of who she is, and she contains it in a book of secrets. But reversed, as it is. We want, we yearn. We're driven to let go. Everything that was before has failed us. Everything that we thought we knew, we didn't actually know. Or, if you'd like, was used against us. And we're led to believe that the traditions, that the practices, the everything that we thought was not and has failed us. So, we want to let it go. To let things just go. And we'll begin again. Because we must. So, now we're going to focus down here. Down here is the past position. Where are we coming from in the situation? This will tell us exactly where we're going, along with give us better context on what we're aiming for. To which we have the Two of Wands reversed. The Two of Wands reversed. Well, we're discordant. There's no clarity of vision. There's no clarity of communication. There is no union between any of us. No one's listening to each other. No one's caring. Everyone's talking over each other, and it's quite noisy. It's quite loud, and it's quite distracting. So we're coming from a position where in light of everyone talking over each other, in light of everything like this, we can only really pull in and focus on one thing, and that's ourselves. Because at the beginning and the end of the day, that's the person we wake up with, that's the person we go to sleep with, that's the person we see in the mirror constantly. In light of all of the confusion, we focus on ourselves, period. Because it's the only person we're actually going to have a clear voice with. Good or ill, this is what we are this is what we have, and this is where we're coming from. This leads into where we're at right now. In literally right now, as you're watching this, we are in a position of the Six of Swords. We took too long. We have something to do. We have something to say. We have people who needed to talk to us at a certain time. We need to talk to people at a certain time. We need to do something at a certain time or have something done for us at a certain time. Yet, where we're coming from is nothing but discord and an overcrowded and loud room speaking over each other, and no one can really understand anyone. We got overwhelmed. We withdrew because we don't know which way is up, which way is down. We don't know how to really do much of anything. So we procrastinated, waiting, hoping, dreaming that we'll have an opportunity. But that opportunity never came. We procrastinated, but really we don't know what to do. We don't actually know how to begin. And because of this, and because we constantly put out our hopes and our dreams into this, only for that time to never come, we slowly grew apathetic, and apathy sucks. So, we took too long. Our procrastination drove us to inaction. Our apathy drove us to that, and it wears on us. We took too long, and it hurts. So that leads all the way back to our goal. Too many voices, screaming, yelling, filling a room with discordant and opposing points of view and voices and languages and everything else. It's a collection of noise shouted out at the universe, at you, causing confusion, causing inner turmoil and chaos, causing this procrastination and delay and delay and delay until it took too long. Something had to give. And what did we give? Everything. We're letting everything go. Because what was not working anymore. And we're tired of the noise. We're tired of the confusion. It's going to be a long road for us to get to that point. But we'll get there somehow. And we'll certainly fall along the way. But we want to let it go. The way before betrayed us. The way before failed us. We could hold on to what was, but we just were shown that it was going to hurt us more. So what can we do? Other than just let it go, move on, and start again. Leading to our outcome. If things were to stay along this path, we have the King of Wands reversed. We all know what a king is. A king is a just and wise and compassionate leader. Not a ruler, but a leader. And because it is wands, clarity of desire, clarity of intention, clarity of will and focus. They know what they want. They know how to do it. They know how to delegate. They know what they need to do. And it's the end of the journey. It's the maturation point. You come to this point understanding that it's not all about you. And that you have your kingdom. You have your advisors and you know how to delegate that responsibility. But again, we got this reversed. So everything that I just said, it's the opposite. You know how to do great things. You have accomplished great things in your time as we hit this outcome. But it comes at a cost. And that cost is you. You see, as we listen to number one, as we rebuilt and rebuilt everything after letting everything go, we're capable of greatness. But we've become bitter. We listen to ourselves and no one else. Everyone else was just simply in the way. Everyone else had the potential of starting the chaos again, so you just simply kept them all at arm's reach. And because you're the only person here and everyone else would get in the way, you became bitter, you became short-tempered, and very much ill-tempered. You essentially became the very thing that you hate, because it started all of this in the first place. So, that is where we're heading. I did say that this Diablo deck is one of my darker decks that I own, and I don't mind it, because every now and then we do need to actually look at ourselves in a mirror, and instead of focusing on our feelings, it doesn't care about our feelings. Here's what's under the surface. Here's a possible vision for where we're going if everything continues as it is and as it does. So how are we going to act? How are we going to respond to all of this when the world has gone mad around us? The thought and the desire to say that, well, I'm the only sane one left, is very strong. It's very much incorrect. But the desire to say that is absolutely strong. As I said earlier, this is divided into two halves. We just finished that one half that is the situation that we have. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to focus on the other side, which is focusing on our emotional motivations. And it all starts with you. The first card in this line is for the querent, the person who asked the question, in which case I asked the question and then I shuffled the cards. What is coming our way? What should we expect? So this is going to examine myself because I asked the question, but perhaps it might help someone else too. So where are we coming from? What are we looking at right now? We are looking at the Four of Wands. We had every right. We had every right to be hopeful. We had every right to want joy. We had every right to shoot for happiness, to want and to dream of a better day, a brighter future, a better day for our kids, which is our future. We fought for it. We fought for it. We were on the eve of getting this exact thing that we wanted. And then right there at the last moment, snatched away from us. And we were betrayed. Perhaps we did not fight hard enough. Perhaps we did not say the proper words. Perhaps it was always doomed from the beginning. But we were let down. Probably by ourselves. We were betrayed. Probably by ourselves. But that does not make this feel any better. It actually makes it feel so much worse. So we have this feeling of betrayal, that everything that we fought for did not matter in the first place. We lost our hope. We lost our joy. We lost everything. And that's a very hard one to come back from. So, where are we coming from in the past position? The first card, the Four of Wands reversed, is examining us in the first place. So, where are we coming from emotionally in the past? We're coming from the Six of Cups. In light of trauma, in light of hardships, in light of abuse, in light of all the heavier sides of everything, we find ourselves going back in our minds and remembering the good times, remembering the last time we actually and truly felt happy, and the moments where we felt joy. It's called nostalgia. The more we look at nostalgia and the good times that came before, the more we can find ourselves beginning to compare today to the days before. How did we get here? Where did things go wrong? What if I had done this? What if I had done that? What if that person actually did something? What if, what if, what if, what if, what if? And if we continue along those lines, eventually it will be slowly turn into, well, if I do this, perhaps I can recreate that in real time and bring the amazing times before in happiness and joy, dare I say greatness, back into the present. And we can slowly begin to make this great again. We are at the Fool reversed. Right side up, the Fool is paying attention to the sky. He's not paying attention to the ground beneath him. Classically, in most tarot imagery, there's a wee dog at the bottom nipping at his heel to remind him that he is not up here, he's down here, and he needs to pay attention to the road. But in this particular instance, we got the Fool reversed. Are we sure that we want to go down that road? We can see the road for what it is. We can see what it offers and what it takes away from us. So are we sure that we want to take that road? Owl? Because we're coming from a position of the good times were great. What do we need to do to make these times great again? Are we sure we want to go down that road? Because we've already proven that that road is too risky. It's got too many risks, not just to ourselves, but to everyone else around us. And if we were to take that road, we become reckless. We become reckless with ourselves within the situation we find ourselves in and everyone else around us. We become the very same thing that we hate in order to move forward. And if we end up becoming the very same thing that we hate as we move forward, how are we better than that? Don't go down that road. But we find ourselves walking down that road. Just are we sure that we want to walk it in the first place? There's too many risks. We're being too reckless, even considering it. Yet here we are. That leads us into the outcome. If we remain on course right now, this is the outcome of everything in this half of the spread. We have the Two of Swords reversed. We don't know. Perhaps we never did, perhaps we never will, but we did not know. There's too many voices out there that we are just simply confused. Too many voices screaming dogmatic rule. We have too many voices screaming supremacist rule. We have too many voices out there screaming indoctrination rule. We have too many voices out there screaming propagandic rule. We have too many voices out there screaming programming rules. We have too many people out there screaming this. We have too many people screaming that. Who is right and who is wrong? We don't know. But It's too loud. It's too loud in here to the point that we find ourselves backed into a corner, into inaction. We don't know how to proceed forward. Perhaps we never did. We're at a point where we procrastinate because we don't know how to move forward, and perhaps we never did. We dawdled. We waited too long. But we do so because we don't know how to go forward in the first place. There's too much inaction because we don't know. But we're waiting, and we waited too long. To bring all of this back into the journey of the fool. Are you strong enough to face yourself? Are you strong enough to face your motivations here? Are you strong enough to understand that we are nothing more than foot soldiers marching to the tune of history, which is yet again repeating itself, yet has the audacity to say that we're different this time? Perhaps we are. The names and the situations are certainly slightly different, but the end result is still the same. Do you have the courage to look at yourself in the mirror and say we are no different than we were 80 years ago? And there is our read for today. I certainly hope that you found it quite entertaining. It is certainly quite dark. As I said, the Diablo deck is perhaps the darkest deck that I own, and I don't have a problem with this because I'd rather face myself in a mirror without the emotional attachments because it doesn't care about my feelings. It just exposes what's underneath the surface in a way that we cannot deny and we cannot look away. So, here we go. But again, this was all for entertainment purposes only. So, if you like this video, please go ahead and hit all the buttons down below. Hit like and subscribe if you would so kindly mind. Go ahead and share it with your friends, your family, your loved ones. If you're interested in seeing more content like this, everything that I do is crafted and run off of caffeine, coffee. I run off of coffee. So if you would be so interested as to possibly donate in just a few bucks so I could have a cuppa and help me craft the next thing that I'm getting ready to do, that would be amazing. And I would definitely thank you for that. On top of all that, I do have a link for my website. You can follow me there where I do update my about and events and schedule of events so that you can have a better understanding of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and where I'm getting ready to go from there. I also have a link to my Patreon down there. I would suggest becoming a patron because not only for about $5 to $10 a month do you have the ability to join my Discord, see the behind the scenes, see everything that I'm doing. You also have a chance to join the Discord and become a part of the conversation and not just a passive observer who observes this with no real say. I do like to listen to my comments, but if you're part of the conversation and part of the creative process, part of what I do is yours as well. I'm not quite to the point where I'm ready to put that up just yet, but it is getting closer. Other than that, all my socials are down there. I have a link to my digital business card. If you're interested in a personalized tarot reading, if you're interested in any of the other services that I do, go ahead and email me down below and book yourself a session. Any of the sessions that you wish. And I do have a list of everything that I do on my website, so there's a reason to visit that on top of the update calendars. So I certainly hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you